Trying to catch race leader Kyle Busch. David Rudiman came off the corner and got into the wall and has fallen from second to fourth. Watch the 0-0.
Larry, I think one thing that we probably have failed to really recognize is right now this is a sunny and the sun's shining down on the racetrack. This sucker's pretty hot and slick right now.
Not a lot of grip.
Matt, is Rudiman's car okay?
Well, Mike, they're talking about it on the radio right now. The only thing he said earlier was that the car was just so free on entry. Remember, he took 2 tires on that stop. Not a lot of conversation since he smacked the wall, but we're listening in.
Yeah, right now the only car that 2 tires has worked out for is the guy leading the race, Kyle Busch in the 18.
Greg Biffle has been trying to get back to the front. Dick Berggren.
Well, he's right now looking to get into the pits, Mike, because Biffle believes he has a flat tire. They're trying to decide if that flat is on the right or on the left.
Doc, I got to tell you, I think this racetrack right now is throwing these guys a curve. I think the cars are sliding around quite a bit more than they have been all morning, and I think this track is really slick. I think it's confusing some of these drivers and crew chiefs.
Dale Jr., meanwhile, has the most ill-handling car on the racetrack. He has fallen to 42nd, last car on the lead lap, and this has happened repeatedly over the past 5 or 6 laps.
Just look at him saw on that wheel. There's no way you can look. He's got 2 hands full. Left, right, left, right. That is definitely a military car.
Now in the last restart, here's how he got a little damage to the back of the car. Kind of a little, he shifted and Clint Boyer got in the back of him.
I mean, just take a look. What's going on?
There's no way you can drive a car like that. I'd be bringing that thing on pit road and saying, you need to work on this bad boy.
And he's running 32 80s and 90s, and right now our leader's running 31 40s and 50s.
Now traditionally, drivers who have handling difficulties won't make that pit stop until the car is passed by the leader and goes 1 lap down. Why is that?
Well, you're hoping for that caution. You're just hanging on, saying maybe, just maybe, with as hot and slick as this racetrack is, somebody's going to have an issue. But I'm not sure there's enough time under a pit stop right now to fix that race car. He has his hands full.
He wants to see a caution, not be a caution.
But God is really confused right now, because a minute ago you were praying for it to stop raining, and now you're praying for it to rain. So really getting confused.
All right, all 42 cars on track or on the lead lap. 1 car is in the garage area, out of the race. Mike Bliss with a driveline vibration on his 09. That is the only retiree. At 100 laps, we are 1/4 distance in the Coke 600 as we watch the battle here. Carl Edwards moving up to 5th, and here comes Montoya, keeps coming.
I don't think this will be a battle for long, because what you have is 4 fresh tires on that 42 car versus 2 tires on the 00 and the 99.
Now Carl had slipped to 6th and repassed Rudiman, and Montoya almost scrapes the wall.
He made a hole up there. That looked like the All-Star race when Ryan Newman went shooting off turn 2 there.
And look at the run he got down the back straightaway. We know he's going to go to the high side. You're going to see Edwards at the bottom in the 99. Montoya has been at the top of the racetrack since the drop of the green flag at both ends, and you can see the run he gets off the corner that carries him down the straightaway.
I think that got to go to break. I think when we come back, we're going to have a race for the lead.
I believe you're right.
Jimmy Johnson is coming toward the lead, and his teammate Mark Martin has come from the back halfway through the field, overcoming that wheel that got away.
The Coca-Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Get the inside track from Penske Racing and race analysis, plus highlights and high-speed action, all on VCast from Verizon Wireless, America's largest, most reliable wireless network.
108 laps complete at Lowe's Motor Speedway. 292 to go to make up 600 miles. In this afternoon's event that had a red flag of 57 minutes for a thunder shower. And now moving on up. Some drivers like it hot. One of those is David Gilliland. The 71 picked up a sponsor for this race from CompUSA.com. And boy, David's marching toward the front.
Yeah, I mean, he started back in the 29th position, and right now he's almost up in the top 15, just about 15 seconds behind leader Kyle Busch in his 71 car.
Krista?
Well, David Gilliland did not like this car in practice, but right from the start of this race, he said, this is a totally different car. I love it. In fact, just a few laps ago, he said, and I quote, this is the best car I've had all year.
And I want to stress again, this race team, they missed the Daytona 500. They didn't race their way in, put David Gilliland in its car. Race number 2, they have qualified for every single race since showing up at Auto Club Speedway.
Well, I know why he loves that car, Larry. He turns it to the bottom, and it hunts that white line. And that's a comfortable car to drive for a driver.
Now Gilliland is 16th, just ahead of him, our pole sitter Ryan Newman. And Newman had to overcome an issue between the tire changer and the jackman on one stop. And Matt, well, he's halfway to the front. He's 15th.
Mike, he's coming. And if you listen to his comments on the radio, very similar to what you're hearing up and down pit road from the other teams. Whatever issue that you had, it really is magnified now that the sun is blazing hot on this racetrack. For Newman, he says his car is tight. The harder he tries to push it, the tighter it definitely seems to get. Tony Gibson's going to try to improve that car with a wedge adjustment on the next stop, but he's definitely on the move in the 39.
You just saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car go a lap down. Ryan Newman's one car that had a problem on pit road. The other car that had a problem was Mark Martin on that last caution at lap 72. The tire got away, had to restart dead last. He's been marching his way back. Right now he's about a half a lap down to leader Kyle Busch, but he is back inside the top 25 and 25th. This is a car that certainly could use a caution to catch back up.
Things are tightening up in the front, Larry. The 48's about to chase down the 18, and here comes the 9 and the 83, not far behind. I think those two tires on the 18 car are starting to hurt him just a little bit at the end of this run.
Well, the good news is we're about 15 to 18 laps away if we stay caution-free, which what would start to cycle through green flag pit stops. Remember, in our FedEx Understanding the Race, we always see at least one set of green flag pit stops in this Coca-Cola 600.
And then the 18 is really the only car that has taken two tires and gotten away with it.
Right. Here's Vickers going downstairs against Casey Kane.
That's a pretty fast hot
Boy,
rod.
he got a run
there.
off that corner right there.
Pretty fast car.
Third place there, and Vickers in a flash catches Jimmy Johnson. This is for second.
I think you'll see a lot of guys that'll run the top in 1 and 2 like you see here, and they really like the bottom of 3 and 4. A lot of grip down on that white line in 3 and 4.
You know, Mike, you mentioned that Mike Bliss is in the garage area, I think, with maybe some brake issues. We already heard that Kyle Busch very early in the race was complaining with brakes. When I look at the 9 car of Casey Kane right behind this group, Kenny Francis in that group after practice on Saturday replaced everything on that car as far as the brake system. Wow. They had brake problems on Saturday, so I know this is a huge relief to that group.
Well, it's 600 miles here, and this car, you use more brake with this race car than the car that we used to run, the older car. And so you've got to have a pretty good package here. Can't come with that super speedway stuff like we're accustomed to.
And for Casey Kane, didn't we learn that next week at Dover, this team, Richard Petty Motorsports, the Gillette team, will debut the new Dodge engine package. The Penske team has been running it, and they will have it for not every race, but some races starting next week at Dover.
I think a couple of things is going on with this 9 car. I think they're building lighter race cars. Yeah, all the cars have to weigh the same, but they're able to put more lead in the right place. I know that's the case with this car they have here, but there's no question when you look at the Penske's performance that the new Dodge engines has definitely made a difference.
Kane battling Juan Pablo Montoya. His Earnhardt Ganassi Chevy running very well today in 4th place. Dick?
He sure is, Mike, and it was his best ever qualifying effort. Montoya timed into this event in the 9th position. Turns out Lowe's Motor Speedway is the 2nd worst track in terms of their finishing position. Of all the tracks Montoya runs, only Michigan is worst. So they are a bit surprised that they're running well. Their entire focus is on finishing well enough in every single race, including this one, to make the chase. They have to finish 15th or better in order to do that. They have never done it here. They have crashed in all 4 races Montoya has run here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Well, Doc, when you think about it, he won at Monaco. He's won at Indy. I'm sure it'd be kind of fun for him to say, I also won the Coke 600.
Kyle Busch, your leader. Brian Vickers closing in as we cross toward 120 laps.